What's up, guys? So I just finished day 3 of driving the Fisker for the weekend. To sum everything up, I got the Fisker Ocean Extreme from Charlotte Fisker in Fort Mill, 800 Gold Hill Road, Suite 103. They let me drive it for the weekend to give my experience of driving an EV. Keep in mind, I have a gas vehicle and I drive a diesel truck. So here's what I learned overall from riding in the Fisker, driving it, and just being a user of the EV platform. I can't really speak for other platforms because I haven't driven anything besides the Fisker Ocean Extreme and the Ultra. But what I can tell you is that my biggest concern going into it was range anxiety. So range anxiety is just the fear of not being able to make it to a charge station before you run out of a battery, right? Like, that's a legitimate thing because it's brand new. We have gas stations everywhere, but we don't have chargers everywhere, especially here in North Carolina and in South Carolina. Fisker took a lot of that anxiety off of me being a first-time user. And how they did that was the solar panel roof, what they call solar sky. They have solar panels on the roof of the vehicle, and as you use the vehicle, as there's sunlight, unlike today, where we have rain, as there is sunlight, you will see that the solar sky on top of the Fisker collects the sun that hits the top of the vehicle. It absorbs the energy from the sun and it translates that into energy that is then pushed into the battery. Also, it has regenerative braking, so meaning that every time you let off of the brake to slow the vehicle down, to tap the brakes, the vehicle uses that friction to create electricity that is then pushed into the battery as well in a very summed up way. You can also charge this vehicle up with your charger at home, your level 1, level 2 chargers at home. Try to use a Tesla charging station. These vehicles do not connect to Tesla charging stations. So you will have to find an adapter if you wanted to use those. But I didn't have that type of range anxiety like I thought I would when I drove it. The solar roof was the biggest for me, which is said to add 1,500 to 2,000 more range onto the vehicle in a year. Like, that's crazy to think about that they have that technology. Another thing that I loved about it was being able to get in the morning and just get going, because sometimes we don't have time to let the vehicle run to warm up, or just sometimes in general you just want to get in and go because you have to be somewhere. You have instant seat warmers. You have, the instant defrost, 564 horsepower. You feel all of it when you stomp on the gas. Torque is what it does the initial thrust of the vehicle, but 564 horsepower. And it was an absolute blast to drive. When you stomp on the gas in Fun and Hyper, which is all-wheel drive, Earth is front-wheel drive, the vehicle actually chirps when it takes off. It is absolutely amazing that they built a platform like this. It's a 6,500 pound SUV that's giving, guys like me who love, gas powered vehicles, E85 powered drag cars, and you put me in an electric vehicle and I'm still able to have fun. It's literally like a big toy. And I was blown away by the ability to enjoy what the platform offered. But yeah, I love that about it as well. I love how spacious it is for 5 adults. I'm 6'5". I'm able to put at least four full-size adults in that vehicle, in the Fisker Ocean, and a child in the middle, or maybe a smaller adult in the middle. But you can't fit 5'6" people in that vehicle. You could definitely fit 4 comfortably. I mean, obviously the California mode, having the top come off, ride around, and I call it convertible mode, but it's literally just a sunroof. It's a solar roof. But with the sunroof back, it feels like a convertible because of how exposed the vehicle is to the elements outside. And that was really cool. I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. You got limo mode, which is going to come eventually through an update, but where a passenger can sit in the back. And I think this is going to be great for rideshare. But the passengers that sit in the back can control the climate and the audio of the vehicle. That's a huge perk, and my kids will love something like that, especially the lady. She would love that in the back seat. So it's little things like that that just sets this vehicle apart from other vehicles on the market. Not only that, the price point that you buy this vehicle at compared to what the MSRP is, like, this vehicle right now is going for an absolute steal. Like, the value that this vehicle has compared to what what Fisker is offering on the website off right now is an absolute steal. I understand there are things that's been said on the internet about this vehicle, and I would say this: caution what you believe. get out and drive the vehicle, see what it is for yourself before you make a decision, because what I drove and what I heard were completely two different things. My opinion was one way from looking at videos, and then once I got in a platform, I saw something completely different. Now, granted, it's not perfect. There is not one perfect EV on the market. There's just been recalls here recently for another EV on the market. There is no perfect EV, but what we have here is an EV that is well built on the inside and well built on the outside, and it looks absolutely amazing. So this vehicle definitely has the opportunity to be a huge disruptor in the industry just because of that 360-mile range. But if you are a nomad living off the grid, you have a taco tray that folds out, you can sit a laptop on, a cup, sandwich, whatever you want to put on it. The passenger side also has a tray that pulls out, so you can literally work from inside this vehicle as a workstation. I don't know, I hate that I looked at negative things about it before I was able to make a decision about it or understand the platform myself. But I just hope that this video here encourages someone out there to go out and sit inside of this thing, take it for a test drive, and see what I saw. The vehicle, the color is beautiful. Just everything about it is beautiful. You know, you have all your creature comforts. Again, this was my first EV experience, and what I was most afraid of is that I would get in this thing and it would feel underpowered, it would feel heavy, and it would feel like something that they tried to force us to purchase, right? Because at the end of the day, like, that's how it felt at one point. But driving it, it has its benefits. And I know there are huge arguments about the sustainability of batteries and are these vehicles more efficient when they're created. Time will only tell that. We can't answer that question because technology is improving at a rate beyond what any of us could have comprehended at this point. And there's no telling in 10 years where the EV market will be, right? Because EV stations may be placed around the United States, which is where I live, the United States, just like gas stations are. And this range anxiety thing could just be a thing of the past. You can also put charging ports out in the middle of like campgrounds if you wanted to. There are so many benefits of driving an EV. My experience with the Fisker has been nothing but positive. I have nothing but great things to say about this vehicle, in particular from driving it. As software grows, because software was a concern for a lot of people, but for my weekend driving and my trip, it didn't pose a problem for me. The software wasn't an issue for me. Now, if I owned an EV, that would actually save me a ton of money, because right now I commute taking the kids back and forth from school during the work week, and I can cut out my diesel expense or my gas expense, and I can just literally charge my vehicle. For instance, I plugged this up on a level 2, and it was on like 63%. It charged within 6 hours, I think it was. So right before I went in the house for the night, I plugged it up and it was charged. Now, granted, 6 hours you can say is a long time, but it's really not to charge it at home, right? Because if I needed it in that period, I could still get in it and drive. It just was gonna take 6 hours to put it at 100% from 60. That's fine. These things have the solar roof, solar panel, solar roof, solar sky as they call it. So it's gonna sit outside and replenish from sitting there from the sunlight that it captures. It's also going to regen brakes. So when you think about it, 60% on these Fiskers is something that should not create that type of range anxiety. Okay, so my overall experience is going to be positive. The only opportunity that I have with this vehicle is that I wasn't able to use all of the components of the vehicle. Like, I wasn't able to use limo mode. I wasn't able to use proximity on the key, because these are updates that are coming in the future. Adaptive cruise control is an update that is coming eventually. Autopilot or auto self-driving will be a thing also for Fisker. We just have to get there. Sustainability and evolution is how a company continues to grow, right? And right now, Fisker has got the sustainability part down with using 50 kilograms of recycled material in all of their vehicles, which that's their goal, is to take care of the planet long term. And they're also after that growth aspect. So the more vehicles that we see on the road, the more vehicles sold, the better the technology is going to get. So you can't discount this brand out right now. You can't discount Fisker out right now. No matter what you see in the news, it's not over until it's over. So here's my thing. Here's my overview. This is how I feel on it. This is a great vehicle. Give it a chance. See if it's something that you like. It just takes one weekend to change your mindset on EVs. At least that's how it was for me. And again, I am diehard muscle car, as you see here. I got a drag car there. But this platform here, the Fisker Ocean Extreme, it did it for me. It changed something within me to make me a believer in EVs. I don't know, I don't have anything bad to say. Like I just don't, because the brand is young. And there's so much space, so much opportunity that Fisker could just come in and just take this market over and turn it into what it wants to. I am a believer in Fisker, and this is how I feel. This is my wrap up of driving a Fisker over the weekend. I'm not paid for this. I was just told to go out and give a genuine review of how I felt about driving a Fisker over the weekend. So all 3 days, if you haven't looked at day 1, day 2, please go back and look at those. But this is how I feel about driving the Fisker. This is my overall feeling. And again, if you're interested in this Extreme here, there's only a handful of them, 25 on the ground. Charlotte Fisker, again, 800 Gold Hill Road in Fort Mill, South Carolina. Just ask for Ken Allen. Let him know that Preston sent you up there and that you would like to take a look at the Extreme or the Ultra. This is the Extreme. Check this thing out. This lithium-ion battery that's in here is absolutely amazing. It picks up and go. I did a 0 to 60, so if you want to see a 0 to 60, watch the review video for that as well. But guys, it has been a pleasure sitting in the Fisker Ocean, being able to drive it. I thank Fisker for making a vehicle like that, and I thank everybody for watching this video, because you have to keep an open mind, and I hope that this changes at least one person out of all these people that see this to be able to get this vehicle a chance and take it for a drive. So there's only 25 at the ground at that dealership total. So yeah, if you're interested, go take a look. But this is my view on the Fisker, and it was positive. It was very positive. But thank you guys for watching. Until next time, until next review, until next car, I'll see you guys. Peace.